This past Thursday, the settler colony and foreign invaders from Europe upheld their dehumanizing colonial dictatorship rule. The oppressive foreign invaders terrorist organization, going by the name of the U.S. government, via their so-called Supreme Court, upheld their invasive, oppressive, colonial state of rule over Indian nations. The oppressive foreign invaders terrorist organization continue to believe that they hold authority to decide whether or not their white settler families can continue to forcefully remove sovereign Indian nations' children from their families. No matter how they ruled, we need to understand that the fact they continue to believe they hold authority on whether or not they can take our children and forcefully assimilate them with white settler families, is still continued dehumanization. December 1960, the United Nations called for the end of oppressive colonialism in all its forms, stating, convinced that the continued existence of colonialism prevents the development of international economic cooperation, impedes the social, cultural and economic development of dependent peoples and militates against the United Nations ideal of universal peace, and to this end, declares that the subjection of peoples to alien subjugation, domination and exploitation constitutes a denial of fundamental human rights, is contrary to the Charter of the United Nations and is an impediment to the promotion of world peace and cooperation. Immediate steps shall be taken, in trust and non-self-governing territories or all other territories which have not yet attained independence, to transfer all powers to the peoples of those territories, without any conditions or reservations. How did it come to be where colonial invaders believe they are granted the position to dictate rule over sovereign nations that have existed for thousands of years? The Roman Catholic Church via their popes enacted policy of mass genocide, by declaring that non-Christian nations do not hold authority to title of our lands, but only hold right to occupancy. That Indians should be dominated in the name of Jesus. How would you feel if a foreign nation invaded the United States of America, declared Christians as savages, and then continued to rule as to whether or not they could take your children to be assimilated in the colonial power that invaded you? It is not how the settler colonial United States ruled that was oppressive, as they upheld the Indian Child Welfare Act, but it was the fact, they continue to believe that their God Jesus still grants them the right to rule on this matter at all. The foreign settler colony from Europe, established in the name of Jesus Christ, calling itself the United States of America, continues to oppress American Indian sovereignty, upholds violent occupation, Christian supremacy and evil colonialism. The latest settler colonial ruling should not be considered a win for Indian country. It should be considered evil, settler colonial dictatorship rule, in the name of their false God, Jesus Christ.